Yes, yes, yes. I'm so happy. Really, really happy. I'm so happy. Yes, I am. I'm so happy. Really, really happy. I'm so happy. Yes, I am.
Hey, what's up with you, Scruff? It's not like you to be so cheerful, especially this time in the morning. What's going on?
I'm so happy. Really, really happy.
Go on.
I'm so
Am I
happy.
missing something, Scruff? You've never been this happy ever since you won the lottery. Do you remember? A couple of years ago, winning the lottery. And do you remember what happened? Do you remember what you did? Do you remember when you ate the lottery ticket and we couldn't claim the £2 million that you'd won?
Why do you have to keep bringing that up? Talk about holding a grudge.
You blame me?
I was hungry. You'd forgotten to buy those extra dog biscuits. It wasn't my fault.
All right, okay. Water under the bridge, I guess. Let's forget about it now, if I can. But I'd still like to know what's tickling you at the moment. Why are you so cheerful?
Finally, I can get rid of that mask. Finally, I can go and lick other people's faces.
Yes.
Finally, I can get out of the house and go for long walks.
Well, you could always do that, Scruff, couldn't you? You keep forgetting that you're a dog, not a human being.
What do you mean? I'm your son.
Yes, I know that. But you're also a dog. Remember? You've got 4 legs, you've got a tail, and you've got a voice that sounds like you need to gargle every day with TCP.
Always a comedian, Dad. I've told you, you're wasted. You should be on the stage.
Well, I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic, Scruff, or genuine. I'm not going to ask. So, anyway, why the happy demeanour?
I told you, I can get out now. No restrictions, no limitations, nothing to stop me from doing whatever I want, wherever I want, and whenever I want.
Is that right? Well, don't forget, you can't go anywhere without a lead. Goodness knows what you'd get up to if I just let you roam around the streets all by yourself.
That's the point, Dad. I'm free now. Lockdown came to an end, don't you remember?
Well, yes, I suppose so, Scruff, up to a point. But you still have to be careful, you know. You can't just chuck your mask away and pretend that everything as it used to be, that everything's back to normal. I don't think things will be normal again, at least not in the way that things used to be. Life's very different now, Scruff. Do you know that? Life is totally different. I still wear a mask in shops. I still wear a mask in all sorts of places. And I really do struggle to hug people. I want to keep other people safe as well.
Well, you're pretty close to me, aren't you?
Well, that's different, isn't it? You and me, we're in the same bubble. Along with Mom and Elliot and Granny Whiskers, of course, and everybody else in the family, not forgetting Jake and Izzy.
Granny Whiskers. I'll tell her that's what you call her.
Oh, don't you dare. Let's keep that between ourselves, shall we?
I like that we can get out a bit more now and see people, even if we're still standing apart a bit.
Yeah, that is true. You know, Scruff, some people still feel quite nervous. Some people still feel really nervous and frightened. And maybe I do wonder whether some people have just simply got out of the habit of seeing others, whether that's at church or at home or wherever, really, at work even. And I know that it's really hard. And I've been thinking a little bit about this lately, especially with the church and the fact that so many of our church buildings have been open for quite a long time now.
Why do you always go into preaching mode? Why does everything have to be a sermon?
I'm not preaching, I'm just talking.
Same thing with you.
Cheeky. It's true though, isn't it, Scruff, what I said? For months and months and months, people have stayed away from the church, haven't they? For all sorts of reasons. Maybe people have been worried about coming into contact with others. Maybe people have felt that it was safer just staying at home. But I think that we're all getting into a different kind of place now, a different situation. So yes, we still have to be really careful and very sensitive towards other people. But at the same time, I think, and this can be difficult, I know, but Scruff, I think we have to gently encourage people that it is safer now. It's much safer. It's much safer than it ever used to be in any case. And the church is actually a good place to be. The place where you can get encouragement and support and prayers and help and guidance. Whether that's when we worship through the prayers that we say and the hymns and the sermons.
What, even your sermons?
It doesn't really matter whose sermons, Scruff. What's wrong with my sermons anyway? It's also the very fact that we can just be with other people. For lots of people, it's more about being in a place where you can feel valued and even cherished by others. The church is not the place to run away from if you're struggling, if you're having difficulties. It ought to be the place where you run towards. And yes, we do make mistakes sometimes, don't we? All of us. We let other people down. We say things that we shouldn't. We sometimes upset people. I've done that for sure. I'm sure that you've done that as well, Scruff. We've all done that, I guess, in some way. I'm pretty sure that it's never deliberate, though. None of us upsets other people on purpose. I'm sure of that. But we are all human.
What, even me?
Yes, even you, Scruff, even you. Well, you're an honorary human, you are. And that's what the church is like. The church is made up of human beings, people, ordinary people, but extraordinary people. What did somebody say once to me? I remember this from years ago. The church is not a hotel for saints, it's a hospital for sinners. We're all fragile, aren't we? And at times we all need that little bit of TLC, that tender, loving care. And we all need a bit of a listening ear as well. All of us, every single one of us. Our task through these times is to keep on loving one another. What did Jesus say? Do you remember this? He said, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you, that you also love one another. And by this, by loving each other, people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another."
Reminds me of a song, an old one.
It's a good one though, isn't it, Scruff? It is a very old song, but I remember singing it years and years ago. You want to sing it, don't you? Yes, you do, I can tell. Go on then, off you go. I might even join in with you, if you're good.
A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you love one another as I have loved you. A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I